guys. So today we're going to talk about converting square and cubic units. Now, I'm hoping that you guys are pretty good with converting regular units of measurement, but if not, just a quick review. Let's talk about it. If I had 15 meters and I wanted to know that in centimeters, again, all you really have to do, multiply by a conversion factor, okay? Well, our old units were meters, so we're going to put those on the bottom, and our new units are centimeters, let's put those on the top, okay? This way, when I multiply, right, because this is multiplication, no symbol, the meters on the top and the meters on the bottom will cancel. Well, how many meters equals how many centimeters? Well, 1 meter equals 100 centimeters, so 15 times 100 would be, 1,500, 1,500, right? And most of you guys should be okay with that. If we're doing it with our American units of measurement, we would say, if I wanted to know, I don't know, what's 15 yards in inches? Well, it'll be the same thing. We just have to do it twice, okay? First thing we need to do is go from yards to feet, right? And the second one, now we want to get rid of feet and give back inches, so we'll do it again. This time, feet will go on the bottom, inches will go on the top. So now yards will cancel with yards, feet will cancel with feet. 3 feet equals 1 yard, and 12 inches equals 1 foot. Okay, so again, yards cancel, feet cancel, 15 times 3 times 12. Erase this, sorry. 15 times 3 is going to be 45, and 45 times 12 is 540, I think. Okay, if not, 15 times 3 times 12, I believe it's 540. Okay, so pretty straightforward there. There's not too much of a difference. The problem is when we're dealing with square and cubic units, this can get a little bit tricky. So what if I told you I had 5 meters squared, and I want to know how many centimeters squared that is, okay? Well, let's talk about what meters squared are and what centimeters squared are, right? So, say I had 1 meter squared. Let's think about that. Okay, that would be a square that's 1 meter on this way by 1 meter this way, right? So that is 1 meter squared. But now when I convert these sides, well, 1 meter squared is 1 meter rather is 100 centimeters, right? And 1 meter here would be 100 centimeters. So what you have to watch out for is 1 meter squared is actually 100 times 100, right? 100 times 100 is 10,000 centimeters squared. Okay, so you got to be really careful when you guys are working with these numbers, because it's going to jump by an order of magnitude. It's going to jump not once but twice. Okay, so when we think about these things, same kind of thing. Well, what's my conversion factor? Well, I want to get rid of meters squared, right? So I need 1 meter squared, and how many centimeters squared is that? Well, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, right? I need to take this number, I need to square it, right? So I'm not just going 1 set of units, I'm going 2 sets of units. So 100 squared will be 10,000 centimeters squared. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to multiply it by the number twice, right? So 1 times 100 times another 100, and 100 and 100 is 10,000, and that will make this 50,000. Okay. If we were using our American units, right, and I could actually tell you something I actually used this for the other day, and maybe I'll take a second at the end of it and do this. What if I wanted to know, hey, what's 15? Let's go with decimal. 15.5 cubic yards in square yards and square feet. Okay, So again, I need to think about this. I want to get rid of yards squared on the bottom, so 1 yard squared. How many feet squared are in a cubic yard, or in a square yard? Well, again, it's not 1 times 3, it's 1 times 3 times 3 again, right? Because there's 3 feet is 1 yard, right? What does that tell you? Again, 1 yard squared, 1 cubic yard, again, is actually 3 feet by 3 feet. So you're not going to multiply it one time, you're going to multiply it length and width. Okay, so this will be times 9 feet squared. And of course, I set this up for myself, 15.5 times 9. 15.5 times 9 is going to be 139.5 feet squared. Okay, and it's the same thing with cubes, except if we did it twice for square units, it's only 3 times for cubic units. So what if I said I have 1 cubic meter? How many cubic centimeters is that? Well, again, I'm going to do my best to draw this, but a cubic meter, right, is a block, right? It's 1 meter this way by 1 meter this way by 1 meter this way. So again, let's think about that. That's actually 100 centimeters times 100 centimeters times 100 centimeters. So again, this exponent here is going to tell you how many times you multiply it. So 100 times 100 times 100, right? So that's 100 times 100 times 100, right? Which is going to tell us we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. So that is 1 million cubic centimeters. All right, I know that sounds crazy, but that's how many there are. So 100 times 100 is, what do we say it was, 10,000, and 10,000 times 100 is going to be 1 million. So it's, again, it's 1 million cubic centimeters. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot. Granted, cubic centimeter is very, very small. It's those little orange tiles we use in class. But again, all of a sudden this turns into a very, very, very large number, right? This is just it's a big number, right? So again, what if we were saying, you know, I want to know I've got a 14.5 meters cubed. How many cubic centimeters is that? Okay. And again, what are we going to do? Let's get our conversion factor. Well, meters cubed, well, that's 1 meter cubed, centimeters cubed. So again, that's meters to centimeters is times 100. But we're going to do it 3 times, 100 times 100 times 100. Okay, which would be 1 million, which makes this 14,500,000 cubic centimeters. Okay, nice, easy to work with the metric system. Okay, now let's do it again with going from cubic feet to cubic inches, right? So I got 14.5. We'll use the same numbers to show you how kind of ridiculous our units of measurement are. Feet cubed. How many cubic inches is that? Okay, and let's do the same thing. Well, we want to get rid of cubic feet, and we want to gain cubic inches, right? So again, 1 cubic foot, what is that here in cubic inches? Well, 1 foot is 12 inches, but I need to do that to the 3rd power. So 12 to the 3rd power, right off the bat, I need to break out a calculator because I don't know what 12 to the 3rd power is. 12 to the 3rd power is 1,728. All right, so everybody quick off the top of your head, what is 14.7 times 1,728? It was much easier up here when they were easy numbers to work with, but we're going to stick with that, with those feet and inches, no matter what. Okay, and what do we get? Times 14.5, that's what's that, 250, 250, 25,056. Okay, so again, watch out for that when you're converting 3 times. Okay, so that's all new stuff I'll talk about, but I will tell you guys about how I got to use this the other day. So I had to mulch my front lawn. So what that means is you put a coating of mulch on top of your garden. It stops weeds from growing. It retains the moisture and it breaks down and it feeds the plants. So it's good for the plants, and of course it looks much prettier too. Okay, so I measured out my garden, right? I measured out my garden, and I needed 720 square feet. Okay, the problem is, is that it doesn't come in square feet. It comes by the cubic yard. Okay, so when you buy it, it comes in yards cube. Okay, it comes in a dump truck and they dumped it off, and it was not in bricks. It was literally in a pile in the back of the truck, but it was three-dimensional, right? Okay, because I have to cover an area, but they're dropping something off, so it has to be in 3 dimensions, right? So how do I figure out what I need? Well, first I need to know how deep I want it, and I want it 3 inches deep, right? That's how deep I want to put the mulch on top of my garden. So again, by volume, what do I need? I need this times 3 inches, right? The problem is inches and feet don't jive, right? So what is this in feet? Well, that's going to be 1/4 foot, right? 0.25 feet. 720 feet squared times 1/4. Okay, so 720 times 0.25. So what did I need? I ended up needing 180 cubic feet. I'm sorry, 180 cubic feet. But as I just told you, they don't sell it by the cubic foot, they sell it by the cubic yard. So it was the same thing. What did I have to do? What is feet cubed in yards cubed? Well, 1 cubic foot, right, is how many cubic yards? Well, we actually had to go the other way, right? So I wanted to get rid of feet and gain yards. But the easiest way to do this actually is that 1 cubic yard is equal to, well, let's think about 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot, right? That's a cubic foot, right? But if I want to do cubic yard, that would actually be times 3 this way, right? Think about it kind of like cubes lined up, like blocks lined up. I can't really draw it, okay? And then I would have to go this way and this way. So 1 cubic yard is actually, if we think about it, if we kind of stacked them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I would need 3 layers of that going down. So I need 9, 3 times I needed 27. Or like we were saying before, 3 feet times 3 feet times 3 feet. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27, right? Okay. And again, what is 180 divided by 27? 180 divided by 27, I found out that I needed 6.6666666666. Okay, so 6 2/3, I got 7. Okay, so anyway, just to show you guys that this is something that's kind of readily applicable. So it is something you can use. So I will leave you guys to it. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you guys later.